Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in with me today. So, I was hearing that everybody wanted to talk about vendor markets. So, I'm going to share my experience with you. I'm just letting someone else in. Hang on. Hello, Michelle, another Michelle. Okay, we're just getting started. So, I wanted to quickly do a bit of a background story for anyone who doesn't know my story. Hang on. Sorry, I'm gonna keep letting people in. I'm new to this. I'm not sure what I'm doing. So bear with me, guys. Okay. So I've been with Plexus for 3 years now. And when I first started, I very quickly, what I felt was burned right through my warm market. It was a pretty small market as it was. My friends and family was a very small group of people. And I think I just went through them really fast. So I had that feeling of, oh no, I have no one to message. I don't know, what am I going to do? And I talked to Amber about this, and it kind of got to a point where she, without saying so many words, it was, well, you have to either find a solution or are you going to stop? Right. Without saying those words, but I understood. So I had previous experience doing vendor markets with my other business. I had a crochet business that I had done for 2 years before Plexus. So, light bulb moment, I thought, hang on, can I not do vendor markets, but with Plexus? Like, I'm thinking I'm reinventing the wheel here. So I asked Amber, and she's like, oh, yeah, you can do that. People do that all the time. Okay, so that was new to me. But the great thing about it was that I had experience and I already had all the stuff that you needed for that. So I kind of seamlessly rolled into that. And that's what I think has been working the best for me personally. I have done 8 or 9 markets in the last year and a half, and I have signed about 18 people through those markets, solely from the markets and from follow up. So this is just my experience and some of the knowledge that I have from it. Some of the stuff might not pertain to you exactly, or it just might not work for you. You kind of tweak it, but it's just experiences that I've, tried and failed and tried and had success with. So that's what I'm sharing with today. So I want to quickly talk about the difference between vendor markets and in-person events. There's so many different events you could do. There could be having people at your house for coffee, like a little like wellness brunch. I can't do that right now, buddy. Nope. Okay, sorry. You could do like a girls' weekend event. I've seen people do it at coffee shops, or there's Geraldine just did one at, not Geraldine, sorry, Geraldine's just did that one at the gym. Um, Even just getting like girlfriends around, all the things. There's all these different things. Vendor markets are a little bit different. I find that they're an investment. You have to look at it as an investment into your business because there are upfront costs to this that are different than just hosting something in your home, right? Because if you're just having it in your home, it's like maybe an hour or two. You have a few things that you need to get together, but a vendor market is you're paying a vendor host to purchase your spot. You're spending probably the entire day, if not minimum 3 hours. And it's definitely more of a professional setting. Like you're selling to strangers, right? It's not necessarily just like having people over for coffee and kind of chatting about it, right? So, what was I going to say? Yeah, so just be mindful of the fees associated with it. Like I said, I think it's a really great investment into your business, but it's not necessarily for everybody, because I think it's something you have to think of long term. And also the fact that you're not selling necessarily physical products. Like it's up to you if you want to sell physical products out of market. I personally don't. Everything I have is display only. So you're not going to come out of that making money. Like when I used to like making physical money to take home. Like when I used to sell crochet, they buy their little toy stuffy and then I get the cash and I go home and I, work out my expenses and I made a profit. With this, you have your vendor booth fee, you have your display fee, you have like whatever the food you needed to bring with you. But you're not getting any money back that day. So unless you sign people, then you're getting your commissions and you're getting your paycheck through Plexus. But those are the things you have to think about because it's maybe not going to be like an instant gratification if you don't sign anyone, let's say. But the great thing about it is just like when we message people, we're sharing information. So people that leave after they've talked to you, they are now going home with that knowledge. And hopefully you have a way to follow up with them. That's really important, is anyone you come in contact with is getting information from them and following up. I have lots of people that I've signed just from follow up alone. I had one lady 6 months of follow up. And then she finally signed up. And that's what's great, is that we've learned about all these follow up steps that can get us there. So as long as you implement your follow ups, and having that in person connection is really nice, because it's really different than when you're talking online with them. So that's what's really nice about it. I mean, even Claire, you had your market last month, and I think you signed 2 people, and then you signed another just from your follow up, correct? So that's just like a true testament of, you know, talking to someone in person and having them connect with you, and then having them connect afterwards because you did your due diligence and did your follow up. That's what's so wonderful about it. So, oh, and please, like, if you have any questions, please throw it in the chat or unmute and just like cut me off and let me know, because I want to answer any questions anybody has. So I just want to run through quickly kind of the main things that are involved with a vendor market that you may not think of. So depending on your market, I know everyone's in like different areas. This was something I didn't actually experience myself, but Claire, you had that with yours, was the tax form in the States for your area. This was something I did not know about, because I didn't have to do that since I'm in Canada. So I don't know if that's something you have to do everywhere. So when you sign up with the host, they might need you to fill out a tax form. And I think it was fairly simple, because you didn't have to, you're not selling physical products. I think you just had to check a certain box and then it was fine,
I
right?
think you just had to fill out your tax ID number. Yeah.
Right.
Your tax ID number and like the event location and stuff you had to fill out. And that was basically it. So it's not a super big deal.
Yeah, well, that was great, because that, like, I had no idea what that was. I'm like, I didn't have to do that, you know, but that's something new. So things that you would need for larger markets, with like those fees that are associated with it. So I always think it's great, obviously, to have a business card when you start doing things in person, so that they have a way to contact you. Plus, it's obviously professional. Having signage. I mean, you can really go as small or big as you want at a market. I personally, because I've already done markets, I like made sure my stuff was pretty professional looking, and I made sure I had a big banner. I now have a big standing, one of those roll up signs, which I really like, and it was really attention grabbing. But again, these things are expensive. You have to kind of like lean into it if you're going to do that, or save up for it. You need tables, you need chairs, you need tablecloths, you need signage. If you're outdoors, you need a tent. You need the product for display. So this really varies per person. You don't have to have every single product that we have, because we have so many. I've done it both ways. I've had every product out because I used a lot of perk points, because I had a lot of time to prep, or I did a different way where I kind of made it like a, okay, honey, I made a program where I did the triplex, I did the weight, like the reset and the weight management, and I did like the beauty. We just have collagen here in Canada, but I did like the collagen and the slim and stuff. So that was kind of an interesting market for me when I did it that way versus having all the products laid out, because sometimes it gets overwhelming. But yeah, I think you could have success with a smaller amount versus a large amount of products, because like I said, it can get overwhelming. I think, Claire, you just had your product book out, and people were like looking through it to look at the other products, which is a great option too. Even just having pictures or information that way is another great way, just to show people that we do have such a wide variety. Or if you're talking to someone and they have a specific need, then you can talk about that product specifically. So my biggest thing that I learned from my first markets was not to get so affected by the people that don't want to talk to you. Because the thing with vendor markets is people are there to shop, but there are people that want tangible things, and you're not necessarily giving them something tangible. So I noticed right away that there are people that'll just walk right by. They won't even look at you. And that used to bum me out really bad. But then I started to realize that's okay. Like, I don't need to waste my time talking to them. And maybe I would be too busy talking to them and they're not interested. And the person that is interested would walk by because I'm busy, right? So I looked at it as a blessing in disguise. And what I like to do when people start showing interest or they come over, I always ask them if I can give them information before just like throwing information at them. So typically, if someone would come up, I would say, "Hi, how are you? Have you heard of Plexus?" If they said no, then I say, "Would you like to hear a little bit about it?" You're going to get one or two answers. It's either "No, thank you," and they're just being honest. And again, that's fine. It's like, "Okay, thanks for your honesty," and carry on. Or they say yes, and then that's perfect because then it's opened the door for you to start asking questions. So I'm being really specific because I was asked by someone what to do, like how to bring up the pain points. So what I do with people once they come in and they say yes to information, I just give a quick, like, okay, so Plexus is a clean and natural gut health supplement company. We focus on repairing your gut health, lowering your inflammation, and balancing your blood sugar, and just a quick explanation of why that's important. And if there's any health goals that they would want to see improvement in. And then usually they will start talking, and you'll be just like when you message, it's very similar to when you're just messaging people, but they're in person, which is nice because it's just much easier flow of conversation, and they can't ghost you, they can't leave you on red, and they're not just going to walk away, which is really nice. So you can kind of have that that personal touch to it, which is what I really like to it versus messaging online. Um, so, and what I have too is testimony displays. If you've seen any of my markets, I have my big board. So shout out to my husband for making that for me, which is amazing. And that draws people in. So I always say you should definitely have testimonies. You want to see before and afters. Mine may not be super compliant because I have like buzzwords like migraines, diabetes, anxiety, postpartum, like things like that. But they would always draw people in. Like they would look at them and I would always get the, "Oh, check. Yep, that's me." Or, or like, "Oh yeah, my dad has diabetes. So what would this do?" This and that, right? So that was always super helpful for people. And that would be great too, because if someone said like, "Oh yeah, I have menopause," and then I would look at the testimony and say, "Well, this lady, she took this, and it's really helped because it does this," and then I show them the products. So that's kind of just an easy way to get into their pain points. And and then you just start talking about products, right? So like I said, I try not to give too much information because you don't want to overload people, because you will start to notice if you talk to someone and they get that glassy look in their eye, like they are done talking. They don't want to hear it anymore. It's too much, and you've already lost them. So I try to keep it simple. You stick to the triplex always because that's always so supportive in so many different ways. If someone says wait, you go towards the reset. If you're lucky, you'll do a market when the reset is free. That has been really good for me for sometimes when the reset's free, or if we have any great promos. Um, and then, yeah, like if someone says they have anxiety, you go towards Vital Biome. They're postpartum, maybe Vital Biome or Ease or anything like that. Like you guys kind of know the drill on what products kind of work. But don't also worry about being an expert on everything. Like when I first did it, I was scared. I didn't know what I was doing, especially going into the wellness space. I was very concerned. And I've had people stump me. I've had the people who are really into the science behind it. And I'm like, "I don't know." Like, I don't know the answer to that. I'm so sorry. And the great thing is, I would always print off the info sheets. So I would always say, like, "Would you like the information packet? You can take it home with you." I'd always print like 8 copies of them. "You're okay. You're okay." And that would always be really helpful because then they could take it home, and then I would always follow up. "Hey, little one should be napping now, and she's not." um, so yeah, that was always really good. And all right, let me check my notes here. And yeah, you're just gonna treat it like any other vendor. Every vendor there is there to sell something, and so are you. You're sharing information, but you're also, trying to sell the solution for them too, right? So yeah, the I panic too when someone asks me and I don't know. But I just say that. Say, "Hey, I don't know the answer to everything, but I do know with time and consistency, these products can really help. I would love to send you some other testimonies based on your needs. And then maybe this could be something that could work for you." And usually people are happy with that. If they don't seem ready to order from you. So now I'm gonna shift into what to do if someone does seem interested and they're ready to order. So I've tried a few things. I've brought this ancient laptop with me with a with a whole charging block to make sure it didn't die. I've tried doing it with my phone, just going on the website and literally just making a cart right there on the spot. Those worked, but they were slow, and it depends where you are, but your Wi-Fi might be bad. And I had a girl who was literally trying to walk away while I was making her order because she was over how long it was taking. So I don't recommend doing that. So what I started doing was making an order form. Claire, you're my testimony for why this worked so well. So the order form can be as basic or as complicated as you want it to be. Basically, you're going to put their information at the top, name, address, birthday, everything you need that you would need to make an account. And then I had the pictures of the most popular products, or you could just list the products, list the popular product sets. And then on the back, I had an area for them to put their credit card information and a signature to approve me to run their card. And then I would have them fill it out and I would run it when I got home. It was a lot simpler this way. This way, they say, oh, how do I order? And I just tell them, well, I've got my order form right here. We can fill it out and I will run it for you later. And then you can just keep shopping. And they're like, oh, great. That doesn't take long at all. And that was the most successful thing, I think, because it didn't take much more time out of their day. They didn't have to keep standing with you because they want to keep moving. They want to keep shopping, right? And sorry, Claire, can you talk on that for a little bit? I have to go help my daughter for a second about the order form. Sorry, I'll be right back.
Yes. Okay. So the order form was super, super helpful for me. And I think it was also very professional because a lot of times, like she said, people were just like, like, what am I going to do? Or how do I do this? And just having that order form ready, that was just very easy. And they would just like sit at their own table and just fill it out and come back with the order form and have it all filled out. So yeah, that was very, very easy and helpful for me the last time. So I would definitely recommend that. It was a little bit of work to make those order forms. So Sam kind of showed me a little bit, but basically like you make it in Canva and I have like all the pictures of the different like product packs. So for instance, like you have the triplex and you have like some basic one, which are other ones like slim and active and ease, for instance, together, and just have all the different product sets all together, or like the reset, and then you can have like ones on the bottom of the form to like add on to it, like a restored to add on to it, or some people want like to add on an active or anything. And that's just really helpful. I think that was great to have it like visual too, so they can actually see the products as well on the order form. And not just have the names, because people don't know like what is an ease, what is an active, So to have the pictures, yeah. So super helpful.
It's right there. It's right there. Sorry. Thank you, Claire. Sorry, my daughter was
Yeah.
in the washroom, of course, for good timing. Yeah, click it. Okay, so yes, honey, click it, please. Okay, yeah. So the Angie, yeah, I can probably share the order form with you guys. I'll put it in the chat later. Do people ever get a little scared about you having their card info? I've never had that issue, honestly, because I think, when you shop online, you're putting your credit card info. Look, when people, I think I've ordered things before, like in a store, and I've had to, write it down somewhere. So, yeah, I just kind of shred it after I'm done, I just shred it. I'm not going to do anything with it, obviously, but I haven't had anyone say anything about it. But if they did have concerns, you could just say, okay, I have all your information. When I get home, can I call you? And then you give me your card number over the phone. I have done that before and that worked fine. Honey, can you turn the volume down, please? Like all the way down. Thank you. So another thing is a way to follow up with people. So what I like to do is, oh, sorry. I'm on the waiting room. I don't know, honey, but you have to figure it out, please. Okay, go. Sorry, guys. So ways to follow up with people. So what I do is have a giveaway card, like a small giveaway card. I have a bag of Hydrate and a bag of Active, and I have a little thing where they can fill out their information to win a draw. So it's like, oh, enter your information to win our draw. And then I tell them too, I say, this way I can follow up with you. I even had one lady joke like, oh, so you can bug me and message me about it. I'm like, well, if you want me to follow up. And she's like, okay, yeah, you can. I'm like, thank you. That's what it's for, right? You're going to get that. You might get people, and you'll get some funny people. I had, some guy joking with me like, oh, this is gonna cure me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know, no, but like, I can't help you with that, you know, so you're gonna get that because you're gonna meet a variety of people, which is probably what you'd get online too, but that's okay. Yeah, Angie, do you have a question? I see your hand raised.
Yeah, you mentioned you do like the giveaways. So how does that work? Do you do the products? Do you like you purchase them yourself?
Okay. Okay. This might be controversial and it's totally up to you. So the very first time that I did a giveaway, the girl that I followed up with, not right now, honey. Yeah, not right now. Get your brother to help you, please. Sorry. She didn't answer my emails regarding her interest in the product, but I told her she won the giveaway. She told me her address. I mailed it to her, which was quite expensive. I think it was like $20. So it was a bag of product plus the shipping and everything and the packaging. And then I sent it to her and I followed up to see how she liked it. And I never heard back. And I've never heard back from her since. I didn't love that. So again, this may be controversial, but everyone that fills out my giveaway, nobody wins. Nobody knows that nobody wins, but nobody wins. So I don't actually mail anybody. I'm glad you see the humor in it, Geraldine. Yeah. I mean, I just message them. That's how I follow up. I say, oh, thank you so much for filling out my giveaway. It was great to meet you. Unfortunately, you didn't win, but I wanted to follow up on the products you were interested about. And then I go into that. I thought it was pretty clever. I mean, nobody knows, right? So it just kind of is what it is. And it worked for me. Honestly, I think if I get up to, diamond level and I've got, money to spare, I will mail it out to the people who for sure seem interested. Right now, not right now for me personally. So that's just what I do. But again, you can at your discretion, I would say, because it would have been a whole bag of product. So it's a lot. And I also I don't know, honey. I don't know what that is. You need to figure it out, sweetie. Well, get your brother to help you, please, or do something else. Okay, but I can't do it right now, sweetie. I'm not here. Sorry, guys. Okay. So what was I gonna say? Okay, drink samples. I have drink samples like the sticks on display. And I've had people ask me like, oh, are these samples? Like, can I take these home? And I always say no, because we all know the product is like pricey. I'm not going to give it away for free, but I do offer drink samples. So I never offer the full stick, but I will always offer a taste sample. I always have the Slam Active and Hydrate usually. I don't usually get anyone to ask if they can taste like the hunger control flavors. If they do and they seem extremely interested, then I'll crack one open and throw it in a water bottle. What's great about that is if you have like a cooler with some water bottles, I just say like, oh, see, it's so simple. You just toss it in your water bottle, throw it in your purse. And they're like, oh yeah, that's so convenient. I have a lot of people asking how much water, how much water do you put with it? And I just say like, oh, look, a water bottle just like this, or just a glass of water from home. And they're like, oh, that's really easy. It kind of shows the convenience of it. And then I just buy like the little 1 ounce like shooter glasses from Amazon. And then you just give out those samples. And I've seen people fill the sample cups and leave them out on the table. I mean, and people just come up and they can try them. It looks very nice. I think that's a nice way to do it. I don't personally do it because people think of it like Costco. People could just walk up and be like, oh, what's this pink thing? That tastes good, and walk away. They have no idea what they just tasted. They have no idea what the benefits. They just think it tastes good, but they're not going to try it. Now you've technically wasted the drink. So I give it away to people that I'm in conversation with. If I'm talking and they seem interested, I say, would you like to try it? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. And then you offer it to them. And that usually becomes a talking point too. They say, oh, wow, that's really good. It's really smooth. It's not grainy. I love the flavor. What's the sweetener? What other flavors does it have? It really sparks conversation, which is what I love about it. Yeah, you could totally use your perk points to get the samples. We don't have those sample packs in Canada, so yay for us. So I can't do that. But yeah, that is something you guys can do for sure if you wanted to. You could also, if you got those sample packs, or if you wanted to give away samples, you could do it if they ordered with you at the event. Sometimes having an incentive is great. So if you order with me today, you get to go home with samples. Or if you want to make a voucher code for them through your Plexus Pay, that's always really nice too. Just saying like, oh, if you order with me today, I can give you $20 off or $10 or whatever. Suits your fancy, basically, you know. Yeah, because I think that's really good. I've had a few people that'll do that. They're like, okay, yeah, if there's like $20 off, that'll save my shipping. I'm like, yeah, there you go. And then they'll order off you there. Let me just check my. Yeah, I think that's kind of pretty much like what I had. Claire, did I miss anything? Because I know Claire has heard the whole spiel before. Or
I
if
don't
anything,
think so, but I actually had a question that I
yes.
ran into and might be helpful. So
Yeah.
one thing that I found hard, and I'm just not, math is not my strong suit, so that's also why. But then when people ask, well, how much does this cost? You know, like how do you go about that? I mean, obviously you want to shoot for 100 PV for everybody, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I remember like the last event, I remember like just being calculating everything. I'm like, oh, okay, hold on, let me calculate everything, and then so it feels
Yes.
awkward letting them wait.
Yes, that's a good question. Okay, so in the Plexus Go app, there's a product price list that has all the products by category. It has the PV, it has the price, retail, VIP. So I always have that. I laminate mine. And I always have that on hand with my order forms. So I can quickly look something up and I grab my phone and I'll tell them, it is tricky you don't really want to get into like the whole, oh, well, you should order 100 PV. And they're like, what's PV? And then you have to get into all that. It gets a little much. I lost someone when I started talking about that. They were like, oh, see ya. And just, they were gone. So that I shouldn't have done that. Because you know what? We're excited. We want to tell them all the things. We want to like tell them like, oh, we have a reward program. And typically the thing with that too is you do want to be upfront. Like I tell people when I sign you up, it will be on an auto ship program because the goal is consistency. So they know it's coming out every month. And I mean, you're going to follow up because that's good customer care anyways to tell them that's happening. But I always tell them that up front. And I say it is a reward system. Every time you order, you will get points, you will get free product. And a lot of people understand that. I mean, you know, reward systems have been around for a long time for lots of different companies. So a lot of people will say that, oh yeah, you get points. Oh, okay, sure. You know, and then you kind of carry on. So I wouldn't worry too much. Like if someone, you know, I had a lady say like, oh, can I just buy a bag of Slim? And I just say, yeah, you absolutely can just buy a bag of Slim. But I tell them the benefits of ordering like one, I think it's at least one more product will get you over 100 PV is the reward program. And that's what I'll tell them. And then usually they'll say like, oh, okay, well, yeah, throw the Ease was interesting, or I think I'll try the X Factor Plus. And then they're over 100 PV. So then you just carry on. But if they really just wanted to order a bag of Slim, I wouldn't say no. I'd say, yeah, let's get you in the door. Let's get it, you know, and then just, that was the lady I lost wanted just a bag of Hydrate and I should have just let her, you know, but, yeah, that's something for sure. But hi, honey. Okay. So yeah, having the product list there, having your prices up front. And that's the thing, you don't wanna like not give them any information and just be upfront. I'd tell them exactly what the price is. And you know, you'll have one or two people. They're either just like you would if you were messaging them, they're gonna say, oh wow, that's really expensive, or oh wow, that's a great price, like for what it is. So it really depends on the person. And the thing I notice with vendor markets too is that the people that want this solution, that are looking for like health products, that are looking for gut health, when they see the words gut health, they're going to come to you and they're just going to want it. You'll know right away when they're interested. It's the same as if you're messaging, you know. But it's nice because you can kind of feel the vibe off people, which is good. But yeah, I think I covered everything. Does anybody have any other questions? I don't want to keep you guys like all afternoon. Or yeah.
I just want to add for the Claire question suggestion, what I did to myself when I went to the gym table, I got like a few combos with their price and shipping printed. So that's
Okay.
an idea.
Yeah.
So you don't have the I did have the price list also, but it's much easier when you have like the combos and their prices and the shipping and the tax and that's
Yeah.
so that's another
that's-
suggestion.
That's true too. Yeah. I've never had the prices out in front for anyone to see. But is that what you had? Were they like out on paper for them to see? Just for you to see though. Okay, yeah. That's what I would do too. Just so you have that one-on-one conversation with them. Yeah, exactly. It's more personal that way. And you'd be surprised how vulnerable people get in person. I mean, they're a total stranger, but they'll tell you about their bowel movements for sure. Just like they would when you're doing it over a message. And it's kind of funny that way because you're like, okay, well, let me help you with that. Here's this, let me show you, and they're like, oh yes, okay, good. So it's great. It's great that way. I think, I think they're great. I think vendor markets are wonderful for anyone that wants to do them. It's a nice way to really invest in your business. I wouldn't be scared about it. I mean, like, look at you, Claire, you got 3 people on that one market you did, and you did so good. And you were so nervous about it, Okay. Yes, honey bun. And yeah, but like I said, they're different. They're different than, small little events because there is upfront cost. So just be mindful of that. Whether you want to just do one or you want to do a few every month. Like you could probably do one every month if you wanted to. That's kind of what I do come spring all the way till the end of the year. Because like Christmas markets, fall markets, summer markets, depends where you are. Like I can't get into farmers markets because they only want like physical, like handmade soaps and food and things like that. They don't want from businesses or stuff. Or you're going to find those markets where they'll say like no MLMs and all those things because they just want it to be like, shop small and do that. So you have to be mindful of that. You have to see what's in your area and what works for you, but there will be lots. There's lots of trade shows. I'm sure everyone's been to a trade show or a vendor market, craft market, anything like that. So this way you would just be the vendor and it's pretty fun. Sometimes they can be a long day, but they're really worth it and encouraging. I think it's nice to get out of the messaging where we feel so confined to our phones and we're not talking to people like in person, or we feel you just lack that connection in person, I think, when you're always doing it over your phone. So I think vendor events are really wonderful. And if you get the chance, you should totally do it. And yeah, if you have any other questions about it, feel free to reach out to me, but you guys are all going to be pros at it yourself at some point. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to share. If you guys have any other questions at any other time, let me know. I don't want to keep you guys any longer and my kids are going to start losing it at this point. So I'm going to log off and hopefully I know how to end this properly. Okay. So if everyone's good with that, give me a wave so I'm not just leaving you all high and dry.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for all.
No problem. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.